Yes, of course. Why wouldn't that's going to drive engagement, so that's good. Okay, so you went to the American school, the American University in Cairo
That's correct.
originally, and are you
Yeah,
from Egypt?
I'm from Egypt originally. I was born there, and I think I came here at 1999. So my school was I'm a mechanical engineer. So I like to analyze things to death because that's a very safe place to be, to analyze things and not do anything. So yes, I was in a 5 year school and I graduated at 20 years old. So I went to university 15 years old. I was very young.
Now, and is there a lot of expats there, like Americans and North Americans that go to that school, or
So no, mostly Egyptians. There's a lot of nationalities because it's one of the really good schools in Egypt. So lots of people from U.S., Europe, Arab world, everywhere basically, but mostly Egyptians because it's in Egypt. It has been there from since 1908 or something. Like it's really old.
okay? Huh. And so, like, finance wasn't the plan.
Finance wasn't the plan at all. When I graduated, all of my jobs were high-paying jobs. Like my first company was in oil field called Schlumberger, and but I wanted to be wealthy, and I felt that just the 9 to 5 will not make it. Just too much work, for, too much work for whatever it is. And if they give you good salary, it means you're giving much more. So I just got to tell you that my first company in Schlumberger, you could not sleep except when you finished the job that you started. So my longest job was 3.5 days. So imagine you're working with explosives, radioactive materials, and you're not sleeping for 3.5 days. Yes, they were giving me the average salary of 10x a normal Egyptian engineer. But if you divide that by the hours of work that I worked, and it was really tough, like two months in the field. And usually oil is in usually it's in places that are not very nice. Like it's not in Paris. It has to be in the middle of the desert, the middle of the sea. The oil rigs in the middle of the sea. So it's not very nice at all. Zero social life. And if you take the salary divide by the number of hours, it's really cheap for them. Anyway, so um, I was always worried, not worried, but anxious to figure out what is the way to wealth. And I read this book called Cash Flow Quadrant.
Cash flow.
Um,
I'm actually not familiar with that one.
it's actually very nice, with the guy called Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh
He's
yeah,
very
okay.
famous.
Rich
Yeah,
Dad Poor Dad, right?
Rich Dad Poor Dad, exactly. So, and the first time for me to understand the concept that just one way of doing things is being an employee, and that you're getting the worst deal ever because you're getting taxed before you touch the money. You cannot write off anything, and you're making money basically for the other people in the quadrant. So the other quadrants very quickly are self-employed. That's the doctor in his clinic. Uh, and that's the left part of the quadrant, the employee and the self-employed. Both of these guys uh, trade their time for money. And if you don't go to the work, you don't get paid that day. So if the doctor didn't go to the clinic, he's not going to get paid. What really make it is the people on the right side, which is the business owner. Think of somebody who has 50 franchises of McDonald's. This guy or girl does not need to go to work, and the money will keep coming in because they use other people's time, the employees, to make money. And the investor is the best of all because he or she uses other people's time and money to make money. So I said, okay, fine. I want to be an investor. What should I do? I figured it out later that really there are three ways to make money: investor in real estate or stocks, mainly. Third is a business owner. So now I know that you cannot start the three at the same time because they take time to learn it. So I started with real estate, took a lot of courses. I paid a lot of money in courses, which I needed to. I'm glad that I did, because if your father is not a billionaire and he did not really teach you, it's really up to you to figure things out. So instead of you blaming parents, government, the weather, the whatever, like just jump on it. So
Now, are
I
you in
started
Canada at
with,
this point when you're taking the courses?
I'm in Canada, but all my the
When
courses
you're taking
that
the courses?
yes,
Yeah,
yeah. So I came to Canada in 1999. I did a master's in engineering as well
that was in
from U of
Toronto.
T.
Yeah,
Sorry, Toronto, yeah, U of
yeah.
T, and then it was a very nice master's because what I really wanted is that I thought I worked in a multinational company in the oil field, so I should have no issue working in Canada. But when I came to Canada, applied for 100 jobs, I got 0 interviews, and I said, "Okay, what's wrong here? Like, I know I'm qualified." And they told me that in Canada to work, you have to either have Canadian work experience or getting schooled in Canada. I said, how will I have Canadian work experience? And anyway, I didn't really fight. I'm very pragmatic. I just get to the point. Okay, fine. So I found this master's at U of T, which was really nice because I didn't really want to go into research. So it was all courses, 10 courses. And they have the option of, instead of 10 courses, you can do 7. And they will place you in the last, instead, in lieu of the last 3 courses, they will get you kind of an internship in a company whereby you work there for free, of course. So I was paying the university to go work for free for a company. But in 1 year, I had 2 on my resume. I had the Canadian experience because I worked 3 months in a company, and also getting a degree from Canada. And I guess I made an impression. In the 3 months, they offered me at the end in the same company a job, which I stayed for 10 years in manufacturing, called Celestica. These are the factories of IBM. Anyway,
So now, wait, hang on. You're with Schlumberger, and then you're with Celestica. It looks like you're with BlackBerry as well.
Yes,
did
correct.
you get stock options in any of these guys?
So in Celestica, yes, I got stock options. I didn't know options at all at that time, had no idea, but they were worthless because the stock went going down.
Yeah,
So when they give you a call option, now I understand that it's a call option, it doesn't have value except when the stock goes up, and the stock didn't go up.
Celestica was flat for like a decade, eh? Yeah.
Exactly. So they were generous. They gave us $1 per share, whatever. So I made some money, not much, but yeah. So I did that. So all of my career in corporate, I worked in Schlumberger, Celestica, BlackBerry. I worked also in Sun Life as a director of Lean, and all of that. I had my full-time job, which I give 100% always, and then in the evenings, it was time for me to grow up, to learn. So I started with real estate, took a lot of courses, made a lot of mistakes, and I started with some real estate courses from the US where they're not really that ethical. Like they tell you treat the tenants really bad. Like, oh, anyway. So I made a lot of mistakes, but luckily I didn't really lose a lot of money. And
now, did you buy something in Toronto in the early 2000s?
So I started with buying stuff in a place called Cornwall because it was very cheap. Okay. And I didn't have money, and I liked the idea of this thing called no money down. So I used to restructure the purchases whereby in closing, I don't pay anything, I actually get money. So the bad thing about this is the stuff that I was buying, like I was buying a fourplex for like 30,000, very cheap. On paper, because I'm really good in analysis, it shows that it cash flows like crazy. But in reality, because the places there were C areas, C tenants in C areas, you get the type of tenants where you go visit the property and he comes out drunk saying, the rent is too high because I can't buy enough beer. So I had this metric called collectability because I was not like, there was not 1 month when I owned these properties that everybody paid rent. So maximum collectability was 80%. So I was basically every unit, they would pay rent 4 months out of every 5. But I was still breaking even, so it's good. Like, but whatever I thought theoretically when you analyze something, I never really got but I didn't lose money, so it was okay. And then fast forward 10, 15 years ago, I thought that anybody who invests in stock and options, mainly stocks, is an irresponsible investor. And the reason I had this idea is that everybody around me was losing money. So it has to be casino, right? Like, why would you gamble? I'm a risk-averse person. So one of my friends told me, just come to this course, teaches people about stocks and options. I said, okay, fine, it's a scam. I'm going to go there to prove to myself that I know everything and this guy doesn't know anything. So just to go to confirm. But I was pleasantly surprised that there's actually a method.
Where, like, what was this course and where was this?
It It was in Toronto. It was about options, and there's actually a method. There's a way that you can approach the market methodically. It's a different animal than real estate. So you need to understand. It's as if you have a pet, a dog versus cat. You need to understand that the dog behavior is different than a cat, and there's some certain foods you can feed that animal versus the other. And I started my journey there. Took a lot of courses because I was really interested. And there's we can talk about the difference between real estate and stocks. One of them is very liquid. The other one needs a little bit more effort, but one of them is very volatile. And definitely, if you don't know what you're doing, I guess if you don't know what you're doing in both, you can lose money. But
when you were doing your real estate, you had your fourplex. Did you have any manager, or you're doing all that? You're going collecting rent from these guys yourself?
So some of the properties I had a manager. So for this one, I had a manager, but again, it was a disaster. And I upgraded. Again, it's always a journey in learning. I never stop learning. So I joined this group called RAIN, Real Estate Investment Network, which was really, really a good real estate group. It's a Canadian group. I think the founder, his name is Don Campbell. He authored this book called Real Estate Investing in Canada. For any Canadian, that's a really good book as well. So two books are really a really good read: Cash Flow Quadrant and Real Estate Investing in Canada. I don't get any royalties or anything, it's just but they're really good. And so I learned how to do this properly, real estate properly, and that I upgraded to A areas and A tenants, and it really made a big difference. I did very well in real estate. And 15 years ago, when I started the stocks journey, we can talk about that as well. Again, took a lot of courses, and I was making a lot of money, and I did very well. So some of these people in the courses told me, "Why don't you come coach for us?" So we do this course, but some people are asking us for coaching. We don't have time to coach. Why don't you coach them? And I started coaching there. So, and then a year ago, I decided to go on my own and open my own company, because from all the courses I took, there's always good stuff about every course. And I thought I wanted to do my own course, and not really a course, a mentorship program, because I do believe you can't really know how to swim by watching videos. You have to be with a coach in the pool to get the learning quickly. Because anyway, so a year ago, I started my own company and started marketing and sales, which is my growth area right now. I'm an engineer. I don't like sales or marketing at all. And
is this Trident we're talking about, or is this Legacy?
No, this is Legacy Wealth Builder Academy.
Okay. And so just so people know this, what do you do for people, and who should be looking for your help?
Okay. So what I do is I teach people who are risk averse, mainly busy professionals, how to invest in stocks and options in a responsible way. The reason I'm saying responsible way, because most people that I know, and this is why I had this view that it's a casino, is that most people that I know approach the stock market as a casino. They buy stocks as if they are lottery tickets. And I've seen that behavior even in sophisticated real estate investors. So any investor, when they go and buy a property, if it's a buy and hold, they will ask a few questions. What is the cash flow? What is the rent? What are the expenses? Is it cash flowing? What is the cap rate? Is it a good area? They will do their due diligence to understand what they're buying, and they will do the math to figure out that this is actually good, solid investment. For some reason, in stocks, people, a lot of them just get one of their friends to go buy Meta. It's really good. So it's a very haphazard way of approaching the market, and the market is not lenient when if you approach it this way. Also, there was a lot of myths and misconception, lots of misinformation about the market, a few of which are, for example, that you can get rich quickly with the stock, or hoping that the stock will go up. So the stock market, lots of ads everywhere about day trading, and day trading is a very good way for the masses to lose money very quickly. I can't tell you how many people come to me after they lose a lot of money in day trading, because they remember the whole. Okay, so a few things that kind of educational for the audience. look at Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, his average return is 20%. Why would one think that they are more intelligent than Warren Buffett? Okay. So 20% is really good. The market gives about 11% compounded every year in the last 100 years. So if you do 24%, that's really good. That's double the market. That's number one. Number two, have you ever heard of a billionaire that is a day trader? There's a reason, because it's not a method. It's not a method. So
I still remember in the late 90s when people were saying, "Oh, Buffett's finished. He's out of touch. Like he doesn't know what's going on." And
he will never be out of touch.
All of a sudden, look who was right. Yeah.
So another thing is people do not understand the behavior of the market short term versus long term. And Peter Lynch is one of the really good investors. Told us something that, if you understand it, will make a lot of money. It goes like this: there's absolutely no correlation in the short term between the value of the stock and the price of the stock. Let me explain this. I tell my students that you need to think of the stock market in the short term. Short term means 2 years. It's as if it's a teenage party where everybody's drunk. Okay? There's absolutely no logic to it. The price of the stock has nothing to do with the value of the stock, meaning you can have a really bad stock that is going up, 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 or a really good stock that goes down, down, down. Has nothing to do with value. So I tell them, imagine somebody who's drunk all night, and in the morning, he is sticking prices to the stocks short term. So short term, absolutely no correlation. The second part of the statement from Peter Lynch is really good. It says there's 100%, not high, 100% correlation between the value of the stock and the price of the stock long term. Long term in the stock market is 5 years. So what does this mean? Meta is a good stock for me, and there's a definition of a good stock. Good stock means good business. The business is evaluated mainly on only one thing: its ability to make money. So it doesn't matter how sexy the products are. If, like, I will buy the product of BlackBerry, but I will not invest in BlackBerry, and I'll tell you the reason. I love them. I worked for them.
I wish I could say the same. Unfortunately, okay. I bought the product and I bought the stock.
So if the business is not making money, and there's criteria for that: revenue, net income, profit. If it's not making profit, it's not a good business. And like half of the huge amount of companies in the stock market is not making money. So they're not investable. For me, it's only 5% are investable. So let's come back to Peter Lynch. 100% correlation. So Meta, as an example, in the beginning of 2022, making a lot of money, lots of income, lots of free cash flow, really good company. It went from $400 beginning of the year to 80, lost 80% of its price, not value, price, because it still was giving money. Why is it going down in the short term? Because it's based on the sentiment of the people. If the people are afraid of COVID, they will sell Meta. It has nothing to do with, like, it's completely unrelated. If people are afraid because there's a war in Ukraine, Apple will go down. Why? Absolutely no reason. If people are afraid of the Middle East war, or if there's a terrorist act somewhere in Mozambique, Amazon will go down. It's just very weird. So went from 400 to 80. The normal behavior of somebody who is not educated about the stock market is that they will wait till it goes up, 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 and then buy, because they will think it's going to go up forever. And then wait till it goes down to the bottom and then sell. That is a normal. That's why everybody was losing money. And that's why I had this view that it's a casino, which is true, because people don't have an idea of what they're doing. The people who knew what they were doing around me was trying to get as much money as possible to buy Meta at 80. Of course, Meta right now is at 760, less than a year and a half after that. So good stocks, if you know that they are good stocks, your behavior will be very different. You're not going to sell when they go down. You will buy more, right? Another myth that people think that the stock market or the stock needs to go up all the time. And they really panic when it goes down. We have the statistics. If you divide every year or minute or month into 5 different equal portions, 4 of these times the market is going up, 1 unit going down. So 80% of the time the market is bullish. 20% of the time it's going down. It's like breathing. You inhale, and it doesn't matter how much I inhale, I will have to exhale. So that's the market, okay? Completely normal behavior. When it goes down, it does not mean that the world is collapsing. It's just normal. For example, the tariff thing, and the market went down. It recovered afterwards, but the market was going up for 2 years. It does not matter whether it's going down correcting because of the tariffs. If Trump was not there and tariffs were not there, the market would have corrected, because it corrects every now and then. We have the statistics. Every year goes down twice by 5%, once 10%, every year and a half, once 15%. We know this stuff. So if you know this stuff, the people who are day trading and the news will give you the impression that the world is actually collapsing. And like for me, and I'm just wondering, what's wrong with what's happening? I don't understand. So because there's a lot of misconceptions, if you understand that the market breathes every now and then, that is normal, but most of the time it's going up, you will be relaxed. For me, if you can't sleep at night, or if you're really panicky about the market, then you're not really investing, you're gambling. So what I'm advocating, or what I'm teaching people, is how to invest in stocks and options in a responsible way with no gambling. The idea that you can disassociate ROI and risk is a fallacy. ROI and risk are a couple that will never separate. So if you seek something that has really, really high ROI, please understand that there's a high risk associated to it. Okay, because if you're crossing the street like a two-year-old, oblivious that there are cars, it, like, you're gonna pay the price, right? Because it's just an accident waiting to happen. So not capping your ROI, it's like going for a trip. If I go from a trip from Toronto to Montreal, it takes about 6-7 hours. If I want to be there in 2 hours, if I have the wrong objective of being there in 2 hours, I will have to drive at 600 kilometers per hour to reach there. Okay? If I'm true to my objective, which is I need to be there in 2 hours, that's a wrong objective. I'm going to do stuff that is very risky, because I want a huge ROI, which is be there in 2 hours. I don't want to spend the time or the effort. It will translate that, again, if I go for 600 kilometers an hour, again, it's a matter of time till I lose my capital. Much more important, what I'm advocating, much more important than making money is to preserve your capital. Your number one is to preserve your capital. Number two, get the highest ROI while your capital is preserved. If you have these two objectives reversed, that's why everybody's losing money. Because if you just look at ROI, it's the two faces of the same coin. So
is part of what you're doing, like, is part of what you're doing tempering expectations in terms of, like, let's not just chase lottery ticket stocks and invest in biotechs and hoping to make 100% in a year? Is that part of it?
That's lesson number one, is to get people to be grounded on what is what is normal, what is expected. And then what I do is that I have a 12-week mentorship program whereby I take people step by step, and it's a very hands-on. So it's not a bunch of videos, because I do believe you can't really know how to ride horses by watching videos. So it's a 12-week program. Every day you need to do homework. By the way, it's designed for busy people who only can give 10, 15 minutes a day. So it's not day trading whereby you need to look at charts all day. No, it's designed for people who have a 9-to-5, who wants to invest in stocks and get good returns with limited risk.
Now, is this, like, to me, it sounds like you're designing this for you when you were younger, because you're making all this money. Yeah. So did you, when you're making all this money, you're at Celestica, Schlumberger, like, you're getting paid well. Are you investing at this time other than real estate? Like, were you buying stocks then, like RSP?
So the first 15 years when I worked, it was only real estate. And it doesn't matter how much money you're getting from the salary. What comes in goes out, because mostly taxes. like we're paying taxes on income tax. We're paying tax, GST and HST. We're paying taxes of property taxes. We're paying we're taxed on tax. Like, it doesn't matter how much my salary was high. There was never at the end anything, right? So I think everybody, like most people,
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah, it's just like so anyway, so I actually bought investment properties before I buy my house, my personal house. So I was just investing in real estate, single families, duplexes, triplexes. At some point I had a motel. I was hard lesson as well.
Where was the motel?
Was in Cornwall too. It's
So, and
really
you had
nice.
all your eggs in one basket
So I
geographically too.
started there, and then I moved. I moved to Toronto and Hamilton and Kitchener-Waterloo.
I would
But
think
in
Kitchener
Cornwall,
Waterloo and Toronto probably did a little bit better real estate
much,
wise.
much better.
Yeah.
Much better. I did very well here.
And do you still hold any properties there?
Yeah. I still hold few. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And I'm
that's
doing
yeah.
stocks as well. And it's really nice. I do believe that if you're serious about wealth, you need to be in these three at some point of time in your life: stocks, real estate, and owning a business. Owning a business is the hardest of all because it needs so much time, effort, stamina, and money as well to get to a point whereby it's breaking even. So if you'd start with stocks or real estate. Real estate needs a little bit more capital than stocks. Uh, Both need education. You need to really learn and get the right mentorship so that you don't make a lot of mistakes. It's not a rosy way. You can make mistakes, and you don't want to make the mistakes so that you can compound your money quickly.
Okay, well, let's hear about some of your investments, and maybe we'll hear about some of your mistakes as well. So, what was the first stock you end up buying?
So let's talk about mistakes in real estate first. Is that okay?
Okay, okay.
So first mistake in real estate was focusing on cheap properties. Okay. Um, Actually, the first mistake is that I don't take a lot of action. I analyze a lot because I don't have a lot of money or whatever reason. I want to get the best thing possible, the best deal possible, like the best. So I analyze a lot and I don't take a lot of action. And what I realized is that people that I see that does not have the education that I had, or the IQ that I had, or the skills that I had, were doing much better. And I don't understand why. And because I learned, and I'm teaching as well. By the way, last 6 years I'm a professor teaching at some colleges and universities. So one of the things that we teach in project management is the traditional approach versus the agile approach. And the agile approach was mainly invented in software. They did not want to work for 6 months or a year and then put the product in front of the customer and the customer says, I don't like it. So they said, we need to have very shorter sprints, meaning we're going to work for only 3 weeks. Do something small, show it to the customer saying, are we on the right track? Does this make sense? And the customer they will get this feedback to adjust. They go back, do another sprint, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, go back to the customer. And by having feedback every short period of time, things go much quicker because, and they don't invest all that time. So let's go back to my first mistake. So the people who I see who do not invest a lot of time in analyzing, they don't have the analytical power to analyze like me, but they're taking action. They're buying properties. What ends up happening is that if the property was good and they made money, good. Now they have an experience of what can work. And if they did bad, they learn and they adjust quickly. So in 3 years, if I buy one property, these guys were buying 5 or 6. Their experience is tremendously bigger and they're compounding much more because they're taking action. So I learned afterwards that results are a function of action. It doesn't even have to be the right action as long as you're learning. It's very weird. I thought everything has to be perfect for me to move on, and that's the wrong way. So results are a function of action, how much action you're taking, as long as you're learning. It does not have to be the perfect action because you're going to make mistakes regardless. Like look at all the years of schooling. There's no way in any math class that you're going to take, like if the first time you're learning how to add or divide or do long division, that you're going to get it right in the first time. So just go do exercises and it's controlled. And that's what I do as well in stocks in terms of teaching people. You have to learn, you have to make mistakes, but in a way whereby it's zero risk. And we do that in something called a paper trading account. So it's a non-negotiable thing in my program is that you have to, I don't care if you have experience in stocks or whatever, you have to try what I'm telling you to do in paper trading account. Paper trading account is an account that you can open for free. They give everything is real except the money. They give you $1 million for free, not for free, like $1 million monopoly money, and you trade and you do whatever you need to do, and you learn from that. So if you make money, you don't take it.
What do you use to set up the paper trading accounts? Is that your own system, or do you use like
No, I don't
an
have
online one?
it's just a normal brokerage. I use IBKR, Interactive Brokers.
Okay.
Anybody
Yep.
can open an account.
Yep.
It's free. You don't have to fund the account. But the way I think about it is that if you're responsible, if you want to learn how to drive a car, you can't take the car and go to a highway thinking that you're learning. That's suicide. So for me, if you're not making, you have to prove to yourself that you can make money in a paper trading account before you go and put your real money. Otherwise, it's gambling. And if you're not making money in a paper trading account based on the strategy, any strategy, then why do you think you'll make money in live trading, right? If you're not making money in paper trading account, it means few things. Either whoever is teaching you doesn't know what they're doing, or BSing you, basically, it's a scam, or you're making mistakes, or you didn't understand, or you need to go back and review things. But whatever it is, it needs to be fixed in paper trading account. Once you're comfortable and you're consistently making money in a paper trading account, then and only then you can graduate into a live trading account. That's just a normal thing. Otherwise, it's gambling. Like it's not something you go and just try your luck.
And so you use Interactive Brokers? They'll set up a paper trading account?
Yeah. So when you open
an
account with Interactive Brokers, they usually in your login page, you can choose whether you want to log in into paper trading account or your real account. So you always have this instance of paper trading account to try whatever you want. When I start people, I start them with a paper trading account and tell them forget it. Like I had this guy, what's his name, Ahmed. He has an MBA in finance. So he told me, Fadi, I'm very smart. That's his words. I'm very smart. I will start real money in 3 days. And I had to just stop him, just wait. And he understood after 7, 8 weeks that it would have been a disaster if he started. Like it has nothing to do with you're smart or not. You're learning something new. It doesn't matter how smart you are. You cannot, while you're learning how to drive a car, the first time you're taking it, you take it on a highway because you're smart. In itself, that's not smart, right? So, yeah. So for me, it has to be methodical. It doesn't have to be slow, but it's like you. At any step, if you treat it as a casino or try your luck, you'll pay the price. It's as simple as that. Because you have to know what you're doing, and you have to know, and you have to have a strategy that is proven in a paper trading account. It's not a get rich quick scheme. Everybody I saw that wanted a get rich quick scheme, they paid the price, whether it's day trading or whatever. One thing that is also very prevalent, Terry, that it's good to say is that there's a lot of scams out there. I have 3 people in my circle, some of my students, who lost huge amount of money. Like we're talking about $350,000, $500,000, because again, in the market there is in the stock market, the 2 prevailing sentiments. It's run by emotions, short term. It's fear and greed. If you're too fearful, you will do nothing because you're afraid. If you're too greedy, you will do stuff that has really high ROI, but also high risk. But because you're greedy, you're not going to look at you will be oblivious about the risk. So this scams goes like this. It's important that people get educated about this. They get a bunch of people, you get invitation to a WhatsApp group. And this WhatsApp group theoretically had a guru and whatever, an analytical person that tells you what to buy, what to sell. So they start with, I don't know, 1,000 people or something. And then they tell you, okay, go buy XYZ at that day. Any position you have a 50% chance of going correct or bad, right? So at the end of the day, 50% of the people made money, 50% did not. Okay, they take the 500 people that paid money, put them in another WhatsApp group, and they tell them the same thing. On that day, you need to short, or basically, we're betting that's going to go down. Doesn't matter what they say. 50% of those people will make money, 50% will not. So they take that 250, put them. So they do that 3-4 times, and then they end up with 100 people who are in complete confidence because they made money 4 times, right? It's just luck. And then they tell you, okay, on that day you need to buy this, like whatever this stock will go up really high. And what's happening in the background is that they have a lot of position on this stock and they want to dump it, they want to sell it. So they use these people to buy a lot, the price of the stock goes up, and then they sell it and the price of the stock goes down significantly, and everybody is left. And of course, these guys are on WhatsApp, you can't find them, it's a scam. So don't do that. And the guy was talking to me, telling me that the people that were with him in the WhatsApp group, some of it are bots. And he's telling me the bots were talking about their families and stuff. So it's an elaborate scam, but don't fall for it. If something that sounds too good or too quick, I'm telling you, it's a scam. It has high risk, regardless of what your brain that is full of greed is telling you. So don't be blinded by high ROI. If there's high ROI, please look where's the risk. Risk is very jealous about the ROI, and it's not coming for the profits, it's coming for your capital. So be careful. Yeah, it's not going to be okay to take all the profits you made the last year. It's going to go after your capital. You're going to lose capital. So,
all right. Well, I've heard that similar setup before, and like with an investment newsletter, right? You send out 2,000 of them, and then you only send out the follow up to the ones that did well. Yeah, no, that's a classic scam, but people fall for it because you look at it, and you go, wow, this guy was accurate
3-4 times
in a row. Yeah, look at this, it's amazing. Yeah.
And what's amazing, Terry, is that these people who got scammed, these are not average people. Like one of them is a university professor, one of them is a business owner. So they're not stupid. But you can be blinded with greed. Like I was there as well. Like not greed. A lot of times in the beginning journey of the stocks, I used to make a lot of money. I think in one transaction I made $50,000, and I'm telling you right now, I was so stupid doing this. Like I did not know. Like I didn't know what I know now. I did not know how much risk I'm putting myself. Right. One of the things as well in doing options is that they usually ask you to open something called a margin account. And a margin account, if you put $10, they allow you to buy stocks or do transactions with sometimes $33, sometimes $50. So they give you much more than what you put. Okay. They do that because they make money from lending you money. Okay. And it's really good rate, really low rate. The issue with that is that they are not your friend. They are not your partner. So if the market goes down, they will liquidate you. You will get something called a margin call, and they will liquidate you so that they don't lose money. And it will be at a huge expense from your part because you get liquidated usually at the worst time. So this is a true story. Somebody, I think Vancouver or Alberta, found a good stock called NVIDIA, which is a really good stock. And his whole life savings was $100K. So he did something good by finding a good stock. Kudos for him for that. He did not learn. He was ignorant about margin and the risks of margin. So what he did is that he went and he bought $300,000 instead of one. Like his account is 100. He went $300,000, bought NVIDIA, or I think sold puts on NVIDIA. And then COVID happens and NVIDIA went down 40%. If you're 3x margined, 40% means what? Your account went down by minus 120 because 3x. Like if you made 20% profit and you're using margin, really your profit is 60%. But if the stock went down 20%, your ROI is minus 60. So it went down minus 40, so it's minus 20. He got liquidated. He lost all of his account. And what's really amazing is that if you look at the chart of NVIDIA, the blip of 40% was so small, and then it went up really high. So again, don't use margin. Some of the things. So yes, you will be doing less ROI, but again, let's come back to what I said in the beginning. It's much more important to preserve your capital. So at any point of time, if you're putting yourself in a position whereby you can lose capital, or you're putting your capital at risk, You're not an investor. You're a gambler. It shouldn't be this way. So yeah, it's basically, I guess my message is very simple. There is a way to make a lot of money in the stock market. It is not a get rich quick scheme. You need to learn it. You need to be risk averse. Like I always start my lectures like this. Please don't trust anything I say. Which is true. Anybody who speaks about money, the right behavior is that you should not trust anything. You should, I tell them, put everything in like, think of what I'm saying is true or not. Think if I'm playing with your emotion. If I'm playing, anybody who's playing on greed is like not genuine. So go ask people, try it in a paper trading account. Just be responsible. It's an investment. It's not, we're not playing like, we're not going to a horse race track and betting on horses, right? So anyway.
All right, so let me pin you down to something you actually bought. I want to hear, what was one of the first things you bought, and good, bad, otherwise?
In the beginning, again, one of my mistakes is that I was so lucky. In the beginning, I did not understand the risks of margin. So I think like the worst thing that I did is that I used to sell puts on only one stock, Tesla, because Tesla paid very well because it's very volatile. So again, really bad.
You're selling. You're just starting investing, and you're selling puts on Tesla.
Yeah. So selling puts on Tesla. That's not the bad thing. So I was using margin, and I was using 100% of my account. So this story of the guy that did NVIDIA, it could have been my story. But I was lucky.
Did you have the cash to back it up?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think at that time I was just doing 100,000, and I think I did 100,000 out of 100,000 6 months. But again, that was insanely stupid. I'm telling
well, they say, sometimes the worst thing is that you get lucky early on, because then you think it's because you're smart.
Exactly. Yeah. And I tell people that if you get lucky, again, it's not that I had a lot of skill. It's just that the market was going up. So it really didn't need a genius to make money with this. But when you make money for 6 months or a year or something like that, and you're completely stupid, like you're ignorant, oblivious, you feel you're invincible. You feel that you got it, like you're smart.
You start the TikTok account and say, all you have to do, sell the puts on Tesla. That's all you have to do every month.
So I think, and just to be also transparent, I lost some money, but I was lucky enough.
That's what I want to get to now. I want to hear what's your
So on Tesla, I lost some money, and I think at some point of time I lost on something called a firm. So I wasn't, again, some of the mistakes that you really need to have conviction to whatever you're buying that it's a good stock, because you will be tested. If I don't know that Meta is a good stock, then I will panic when it goes from 400 to 100, and I will start selling. So that's what I did. I wasn't Meta, it was a firm, but I lost some money there. But I was so lucky.
Buying on the way down.
Instead of buying at the way down, I panicked and I sold.
Okay.
And I lost money. Plus, I was using margin. Plus, I did not like to diversify. So I was doing all the bad things, stuff that I'm.
Well, that's the thing about margin too. Like it you can't hang around too long, right?
But here's the thing. So like me coming from a real estate background, I will never, up to now, I will never buy any real estate without taking a mortgage, because it doesn't make any sense to like pay all that cash, even if I have the money. Borrowing really supercharges your ROI. So for real estate, I will never buy without getting a mortgage. So when you go from an investor point of view to the market, why not use margin? It's the same.
Sure. It's just all the same. Yeah.
But it's completely different animal. Real estate is not as volatile. It has cycles, but it takes years to go up and down. Stocks take seconds or days to just go up and down. So it's very volatile. So you can't use margin because it's very volatile. It has its positives, it's liquid and stuff, but it's a hard rule for me, no margin, because the amount of atrocities I saw in the people around me, of course, I lost money, but I wasn't wiped. But a lot of people got wiped because of that. Same as this guy that I just telling you. It's a true story.
So okay,
Um,
then what was your best investment? Would that have been some of those Tesla puts or what?
so here's the thing. Best in terms of money, this Tesla trade that I told you, it's not
Yeah.
best because it was a good trade. I
Yeah.
was stupid, but I was lucky. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the best. Uh, but uh, right now, I don't go for the stuff like that. What I go is consistent. So I don't get very excited about one trade that is good because I never go into really big positions on one trade. I like to divide it. And I understand that by doing what I'm doing, it reduces the potential ROI. Of course, if you put everything on Tesla, you get high ROI, but also you're going to do really good in month 1, 2, 3, 4. But in month 5, you're going to give all the profit back plus a little bit of your capital. It doesn't make sense. Plus, it's a lot of stress, and I don't want that. So, what I'm advocating for is a very not slow, but a very methodical way. You know what you're doing. You're not taking a lot of risk. You only spend 10 minutes a day, and you're letting your money compound at a really good rate. Like my target is 24%. I'm doing much more, but my target is 24%. I reset people to 24 because everybody comes to me thinking, options, we're going to double our money in 2 months. And I'm really bad in selling in terms of like the first thing I do is that just no, if you want more than 24%, my program is not good for you. I can't
But
take your
is that kind of what that's like a baseline for you is 24%?
yeah.
Really?
You're for you is good or bad. I don't know.
I'm skeptical.
Okay.
Because
No,
before you said if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, and that's what I'm
no, no.
thinking right now.
Like people are
24%
doing
sounds
much.
pretty good.
Okay. In options, you can actually do much more. I don't like to do much more because I don't like the risk. But 24 is, I'll tell you, very doable. But the genius of it, or the good thing about it, is that it's not good because of the 24%. It's good that you can do 24% without a lot of risk. Let me just qualify this. Options has like 50 different strategies, so many. I only focus on two. Very simple, because it allows me to control the risk. I don't like the day trading mentality or strategies that you have to bet on the direction, whereby if the direction of the market, direction of the trade was with you, you make money. If not, you lose money, and then you have to do stop losses. I don't do any of that. I do stuff whereby if it goes up or down, the consequences are different, but I'm okay with both. They're both good for me. So 24 is definitely doable. By the way, I do a lot of free events, like 3-4 hour master classes.
Now you got one coming up in Cairo, October 11th. Is that right?
Yes, I have one in Cairo. It's not very free, and this is one. It's physical one.
Yeah.
So because it's physical and we have lunch and stuff, so it's nominal price. But forget about Cairo. I do a lot of Zoom events that are free. So people who want to follow me, you can come to one of these, and it will show you how like very simply how it's done. By the way, Warren Buffett does that. Does these small strategies. It's called selling puts, cash secured puts, or selling covered calls. Very simple, but you need to do it in a way whereby it's not risky. So you need to do it in a way whereby it's good stocks. So that anyway, I don't want to talk a lot about options because it's very foreign to a lot of people, and people will not understand what we're doing. But idea here is that you're kind of insuring a good stock. So very similar to an insurance business. So anybody here, any one of us, have been paying car insurance for like 20, 30 years. And if I tell you, do you think the insurance company is making money? Of course, they're making tons of money. Just look at yourself, look at how much money you paid versus how many claims did you do. And you will know how much money these guys are making. So we're doing something similar to the stocks, whereby if I know that this is a good stock, I can insure it in a way whereby if it goes down to a certain limit, I will buy it. Okay, so I promise I will buy it. And for that, I'm getting something called a premium, same as you're paying a premium with the insurance
Yeah,
company.
so you're writing puts.
Yes. I'm writing puts, but if I say writing puts, 99% of the people will not understand what I'm saying. But you do that only on good stocks, so that we know that if we get assigned or if I need to buy the stock, it will go up in the long term, trusting what Peter Lynch said, that there's 100% correlation. Okay, so not trying to make money like a day trader today or tomorrow. I'm looking at it from a long-term perspective. I'm getting 2% a month, which is really good. And the worst case scenario is that I will buy stock that I want to buy anyway, but at a discounted price. A lot of people want to buy stock. Instead of going and buying it, they write a put so that they get it at a discounted price. So it's something that Warren Buffett does. So he did the ones that on Coca-Cola, I think it was $40, and he wanted to buy it at 35. So he went and sold a lot of puts. He got a premium of $6 million because he wanted to buy it at 35. It ended up not going down to 35. So he did not got what he wanted. He did not buy it at 35, but he made $6 million from doing nothing, basically.
But you have to have the cash to cover those puts that you're writing.
Correct. So yes. So basically, I'm telling people that to start, you need $10,000. Yes. So here's the thing: selling options versus buying options. Selling options, statistically, options go worthless, meaning you make money as a seller 75-80% of the time. Okay, your profit is capped, so you don't have a lot of profit. For me, this not a lot of profit is 24%. It's 2% per month. So you don't have a lot of profit, but the chances of you getting this profit is 80%.
And so you're selling stuff a month out, or what do you?
Yeah, about 3 to 6 weeks, because we use something called theta. So just for people who are hearing you, options are time bound. So there's a contract that, like when you buy a stock, you can buy it and hold it for 10 years, 20 years. There's no time limit. Options are time bound. So there's a contract that is, you choose. It can be 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, 1 year. So I usually do 3 to 6 weeks. And the reason is that, okay, I explained this. I know it's a little bit weird. People who make money in stocks, usually they buy it when it's low, wait till it goes up, and then sell it, right? Makes sense, right? Buy low, sell high. In what we're doing in options, we go into the position, selling high, waiting for the price of the option to go down, and then buying it low, right? So it's exactly the same mechanics, buying low, selling high, but the order is different. So we sell high and we buy low. So the lower the option price, the more money I make. So the selling of the option, I'm waiting for the option price to go down. This is called decay. And the highest decay happens in the last month. That's kind of the mechanics of how options work. So instead of me selling option for 4 months, I'd rather sell it for a month, because the decay, or I make money quickly. Okay. And this is how basically I can get the 2% per month. By the way, you can insure stocks and get 20% a month, but they're really bad stocks. So when you apply the strategy, the worse the stock, the more money you're going to make.
Remember, and then you end up getting stuck with the stock risk, sometimes.
Right? Yeah. So like I think there's a stock called MicroStrategy where it will pay you 20% a month, but it has a really narrow moat or no moat at all. They're losing money and they're very risky. So think of it as an insurance company. You can make a lot of money insuring the houses in the hurricane belt in Florida. You're going to make a lot of money. But at some point of time, the hurricane will come, level all these houses, and you will go bankrupt. So if you're in the business of insuring stocks, you got to be smart. You only insure stocks that are good. 24% is definitely doable, but don't go for 48%. Don't go for, like, you can do more, but you will not be smart because you will not be protecting your capital. Because at some point, you don't want to do that on a BlackBerry, for example, because BlackBerry is losing money for the last 4 or 5 years. And what will happen is that you're going to make money in getting premium, but BlackBerry went down from 134 to right now $3, and I don't think it will ever go up again. You don't want that.
I
Does this
remember.
make sense? It's very methodical. There's no gambling in whatever, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I guess the problem is though, like you can get caught. I mean, I guess you get caught. You're only writing puts on something that you want to own anyways, so that
correct.
if you
So
get caught, you end
you
up
can
owning
get
the
caught,
stock.
meaning getting assigned. You get caught
Yeah.
with good stocks.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
if you get caught with Apple, Meta, and stuff, you just need to wait, right? So you just need to wait, and it will go up. But yes, you
Okay.
can
Well,
hold it for a little bit of time. Yes.
last question I ask everybody: what's the last thing you bought?
What's the last thing I bought?
Or sold, I guess in your case, maybe, or you bought back.
So right now, I'm trying to remember. I think the last thing I bought was Nvidia.
Like you bought the actual shares. We're not talking.
Oh no, sold the put. No,
sold the put. So okay, so let's get into details. Your Nvidia's what, 170-ish right now? I don't have it.
Let me just look at it.
Pull it up.
So Nvidia right now is 177.
Okay. So you're selling puts like a month out?
Yeah, 3 to 6 weeks.
At like 150-ish?
So this one was about 160.
What kind of premiums that you get for that? I don't. Sorry, I just don't have them pulled up in front of me.
So I got about $3.
Okay. And then so the idea is if a month goes by and we haven't hit 150, do you usually close them out? Like, do you buy them back before, like when they're down to 5 cents or something?
So let's just talk about the ROI. So $3 is the premium. To get the ROI, you divide it by the strike price, which is 160. So 3 divided by 1.6, around 2%, a little bit less than 2%. That's a month out. So let's say, just for the math, it's 2% a month times 12 is 24%. So that's 24.
Yeah.
What I usually do is that I have this rules for me. If it decayed more than 75%, I just close it. Okay. And I have this mentality of I like to think of mentality of a contractor, meaning if I'm selling it in a month, let's say if a contractor and you have a job that is worth $100, so every week you should get $25, right? We all know that with contractors, you need to pay them for the job they finished, because if you give them $100 in week 1, they're not going to show up in week 2, right? So I employ that mentality with this. So if I am selling a put a month out, this means that I'm expecting, if it is linear, I know it's not, but if it is linear, 25% decay every week. So if the first week it decayed by 50%, I will close it, because I don't want to wait for the other 50% 3 weeks. My money can work better, and that's how I make better than 2%, right? By going out and just deploying my money again to get another 2% for a month, right? So I close it out. I'm not greedy. We don't squeeze each and every dollar. So 75%, like my rules are 75%. I close it. I don't wait. And anything that allows me to employ this contractor mentality, if it decays more than 25% per week, then I will be thinking, why don't I close it and go somewhere else? And I do have my list of good stocks. So it's not that every day I try to figure out which stocks I'm going to have a list of 20, 30 stocks that are good, and
ones that you'd be comfortable holding.
Correct.
Yeah.
So good stock means there's criteria. It has to be making money, net income, free cash flow, not a lot of debt, have a really strong moat, meaning not easy to go and steal their customers. Usually these companies are so good that even in recession, something they can increase prices and people will buy, like Apple. So like companies that I'm okay buying it now. I don't have, so, and if It's very easy for me, the criteria. If I don't want to buy the stock, then I cannot try to put on it. Simple as that. Otherwise, it's going to be trading, day trading. I don't like that. I want it to be methodical. And I'm just using options, these simple strategies, to turbocharge my profits, knowing that just the fact that I know that these are good stocks and I'm okay to own them, I'm making money just from me okay being owning. I don't even need to own them. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's really simple.
You are the insurance company.
I am the insurance company, correct? I'm making money, but I'm a smart insurance company, because if I'm a stupid insurance company, I will lose my shirt.
Yeah, right? You're not insuring the Florida Keys.
Bad stocks, and you will be tested, because it is not easy, I tell you, to refuse selling a put on MicroStrategy, knowing that one MicroStrategy trade will give you 10 times what I'm doing, right? So it needs discipline, and it needs knowing what you're doing, and it needs you being totally okay, not being at risk, but not putting your capital at risk, right? So this is, but here's the thing, it's not easy to learn this. Otherwise, like, you need to be burnt first, right, to learn that. And I've seen a lot of people who lost their accounts. So I got the lesson. It's clear to me that what I'm doing is good, and I do not want the extremely high ROI, because it comes with risk. Actually, one of the courses I took 10 years ago, they told us you are not allowed to do any trade that is more than 48% ROI. And I was pissed. Like, why are you saying that? Like, I can, like, now I get it, because they didn't explain it, but now I understand that if you have so much high ROI, you are not comprehending the amount of risk you're having. So they cap it. So I guess for me, I'm capping it not capping it, but I'm starting at 24. I'm telling people, don't do like more than 20. Can you do more? Yes, you can, but you need to be comfortable with the risk, right? If you're not comfortable holding Tesla, then you cannot do Tesla, and in Tesla you can do much more than 2% a month.
Well, that sounds fascinating. So if people want to get a hold of you, where do they find you?
Okay, I'm on LinkedIn. My name is Fadi Habib, FadiHabib. You can also find me on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. My company name is called Legacy Wealth Builder Academy. So YouTube, Legacy Wealth Builder Academy, lots of content there. And LinkedIn and Facebook as well, Legacy Wealth Builder Academy, or Coach Fadi Habib.
Well, you have a fascinating story. Thanks for coming on. Is there anything else you think you want to share with our audience?
Yeah, don't be content with 9 to 5. You got to do something, right? And the good thing about breaking free from the 9 to 5, I'm not saying you resign tomorrow, but it's really nice to have the skill, because that's why I called my company Legacy, because whatever knowledge you have about investing in real estate or stocks, you're going to give to your kids. And it's important, because these stuff are not taught at schools. So it's up to us to take the helm. I like this poem that says, I'm the master of my fate, I'm the captain of my ship, something like that. Like, I'm the master of my soul, I'm the master of my ship, I'm the captain of my soul. So
Tennyson,
so I'm the master of my financial ship. Like, it's up to us. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I think I learned something. I'm sure our audience did too. It was great meeting you, and hopefully people will get in contact and you keep breaking in that 24%. That sounds fantastic.
Cool. Happy to help anytime. Thank you, Terry. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
Have a great flight. Thanks for talking to me.
Thank you.